Welcome in to Save Your Six Racing League's Japanese Grand Prix. Round 18 here today. Had a little bit of issues with the commentary, so apparently I was broadcasting and it was not on. So yeah, now that we've got that finally fixed, we're hopping back into Q1 here. 6 minutes and 30 sessions remaining. Granny Boy, a late arrival here today. On the day he can win the championship. If Cobalt does not win the race, Granny wins the championship. If Granny can finish P8 or higher, he's guaranteed to win the championship as well. Even if Cobalt gets the win and the fastest lap. If Cobalt only gets the win and not the fastest lap, Granny Boy only needs a P9 here today to clinch the championship. So it looks like we may be breaking out the champagne here tonight for Granny Boy. Still not a time on the board, though. As we said, a late arrival. Gonna have some traffic ahead of him here of the Renault. Hopefully sees him and gets out of the way. I don't think they're both on hot laps. We see purple in Sector 1. Majestic going wide. You see he's recovering energy right now. Gets out of the way of Granny. The Red Bull driver trying to secure a spot in Q2. Got to make sure he does not invalidate here. The red Ferrari, getting out of the way there very well for Granny as well. And he basically has to clear track the rest of the way. 5 minutes remaining in Q1. Mooks with a quality ban will be starting in last. Chief Chris, we didn't see what happened. Believe he may have crashed out. Hash going out for his first lap, trying to get a valid lap on the board. And Rivas set a time on intermediates. He is now out on track on an out lap. Currently, fastest lap is a 1:27.3, followed closely by Hayden, but Granny comes across the line and makes it a 1:26.2. Wakes up, rolls out of bed, and goes a second faster than Vapor Cobalt. Josh plays with a very good lap himself, a 1:27.8. Ricky Starr, 1:27.8, right behind him, and Brogan with a 1:28.0, beating Walker by 2 milliseconds. A very good lap from Brogan. Unfortunately, all you need to do is get a time in the top 15 to get through. These times do not carry over for any meaningful effects. We'll hop on board with Hash as we wait for him to set his first lap of the day. Reserve driving here today for J.Stee in the Williams team. Hash been pretty good in his substitutions. Total of 34 points on his Sunday reserve races. So pretty good overall from Hash. Let's see if he can put a lap together here as time is running out and get himself up into Q2. Definitely expecting to be in Q2 here for the Williams driver. See if he can put this lap together. Coming through the S's. Very flowing section, very fast section. Very fun to drive. One of the more fun tracks to drive. But it's also very hard to overtake. You have to really trust the drivers next to you. Very tight circuit, especially with the width and length of an F1 car. Going out onto the curb, not invalidating. We did see the wheels outside of the white line. But here he comes through the hairpin of turn 11 and going up the hill. The tight, flat-out right-hander of turn 12 and then down into Spoon. A nice little double left-hander. You set yourself up. Want to get on the power as early as possible as you're going to carry this speed 1 kilometer down, flat out, through 130R. They used to have to lift a little bit through there, but these modern F1 cars, it is absolutely insane the sort of speed that they can carry through 130R. And if you can follow a car close enough, down here, the best overtaking opportunity on the circuit, as he cuts the corner. He invalidates there, and he's going to go into the pits. I don't know if he's going to have time to get around for another lap. I don't believe he will. So Hash may have just choked away. Rivas has an engine glitch. We watch him come across the line. It's P4, getting through nice and easily. Oh man, Hash easily had a lap there, but didn't put it together in the end. Now KTJR Keenan on his flying lap to try to get out of P16 and up into P15. You see Prince on an out lap, and then Pattison is the next in trouble. Pocket Dog in the pits right now for Haas. Hopefully doesn't need to go out. But if Prince and KTJR or Pattison, 2 of the 3 of them improve, Pocket Dog could be in a lot of trouble here. We see KTJR hooking it through Spoon. Looks like a decent enough exit. Currently a 1:30.1 as his fastest time. Sector 2 will not end for quite a while until right before the hairpin. We'll see what his time is. Not a lot of time to make up in Sector 3 here, though. Ooh, you see the little bit of a double commitment there. Turned in, realized it was too early, had to turn back out, stab it in again. It's not going to be fast enough. Slightly faster, but not fast enough. So unless he has enough fuel to go for another flying lap right here, that's going to be it. And Prince and Pattison will be through. Wondering if they know that. Pattison currently 4/10 up on his fastest lap. Prince yet to start, so let's see if Pattison can jump Pocket Dog here. It's up to P10 for Pattison in the Red Bull. Pretty good performance from him. We watch Prince come down through the first turn, down into 4th gear. KTJR currently 7/10 up on his time. So he is not going to be going faster, so Prince should be safely through here. Unless KTJR can have some sort of miraculous performance here, I believe Prince would make him through, and it'll be Chief Chris after some sort of disconnection, DSQ, crash, not sure what happened, down in P19. Mooks with the quality band is going to be in P18. Hash yet to set a lap. Let's see if he's going to get out for another lap here. He's not. Qualifying has ended, so Hash unable to set a lap here. We'll be starting P17. And KTJR Keenan starting in P16 for the Racing Point.
Bro, sorry I was awake. I finished off the race I was in. Emoji blowing kiss.
And yep, Prince will just sneak in there in the Redo P15. Currently 300ths up on his time and doesn't have to set a lap here. Can go into the pits, but probably wants to cross the line here, see what sort of time he can get. And he would have jumped Pocket Dog there by 4 milliseconds. So very good result there. We wait for Pattison to retire from the session. So he comes through the final turn on an in-lap to the pits. We wait for Ethan to retire. Pattison 89. Once he retires, we will advance to Q2. And there we go. Oh, Hash is on a lap. If he sets a lap here, that's going to be a penalty. So that was an illegal run there from Hash. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Had a bit of an issue with Hash's lap. Stewards are trying to figure it out, but he is now being cleared to go out and set a lap once again. It was showing on our broadcast that he had started the lap after the timer had run out. Let's get Hash back in here real quick. And yeah, currently the only drivers yet to still lap, Prince and Hash. Walker on the medium tires. Actually now sets a lap of a 128.1 after 3 laps on those medium tires. Currently the top 9 consist of all medium tires and 1 soft tire runner. So very interesting to see. Maybe the medium's working a little bit better. From our research, it is a soft to medium or medium to soft strategy here, but the medium does give you that extra wiggle room. If there's an early safety car, you can go onto the hard tires here. Not a lot of difference here in the tires here tonight. They are the hardest set of compounds, the C3, C2, and C1 compound tires. The medium only going to be about half a second slower per lap than the softs, and will last about 6 to 7 laps longer than the soft tires. The hard's about a second slower than the soft tires, and about half a second slower than the mediums. So about the same drop off from soft to medium as it is from medium to hard. And yeah, they'll go about 21 to 23 laps, the hard tires will, in this 27 lap, 96 mile, 157 kilometer Grand Prix here around Suzuka. Ricky Stark, currently out in P11. He's had a pretty solid performance so far this season, but now out on the soft tires on a flying lap. With everybody on the mediums, the softs may be the way to go. If everybody's starting on those medium tires, you can get a good run at the start and get out ahead on those softs. You never know what can happen. Oh, Ricky goes wide. It does not DSQ him, though. Does seem to be a little bit lenient there on the exit of Degner 2. Coming down through turn 12, down the hill. Into Spoon, and no, not invalidated there either. Let's get the telemetry up, or the lap data up on the track here. Currently, the top 10 drivers, all but one of them, set their times on the medium tires. But a few drivers putting on the softs now with 4.5 minutes left in Q2. Appears Ricky Starr has jumped up to P6. Just might not be a track that the Mercedes driver likes. He doesn't seem to have the pace he normally has here around Suzuka. Hayden currently on an invalidated lap. Rivas starting a flying lap. Brogan currently not safe. Walker has retired from the session? That's interesting. I don't think he's safe. So Walker, I believe, will not make it through into Q3 unless none of these drivers can set a lap. Brogan currently coming through the hairpin in the Haas. Teammate Merrick was able to be come back today, but unable to make the race due to scheduling conflict. So his teammate here today, Pocket Dog, who's been his teammate recently, the reserve driver that filled in for Merrick, was eliminated in Q1. So Brogan carrying the full load for the Haas team. Coming down through 130R, it says purple. He's a second up on his time. Could be a pretty good lap here from Brogan. On these soft tires, though, remember. See where the Haas driver comes across the line. It's going to be P3 for Brogan. That should definitely get him through into Q3. Very good lap there from the Haas. Majestic slowing down. Appears a little bit of wiggle. Not sure if he's on a hot lap. Switch over. As Owen, 1.5 tenths up on his line. Owen, he invalidates 2.5 minutes to go, so he can go for another lap on those tires if he chooses. Rivas up into P5, slightly improving his time on those medium tires. Hash still yet to set a time. Well, the Williams driver coming out of the pits right now. He will be able to get around and go for another flying lap right here. As long as he doesn't get held up by traffic, should have plenty of time to get around here. Majestic into the pits, so he is going to be eliminated here in Q2. Very unfortunate here for the Renault. I'm Majestic. Not going to be able to improve upon his time. Going into the pits, at best, it'll be P13 for him, but two true drivers behind have yet to set a time. So that's going to be pretty unfortunate for the Renault. Going to be trying to get points in back-to-back races. Maybe he can do it. He did DSQ at Russia and started pretty far back, fought his way back up to get 10th position and get a point. So maybe he can do it here again today. Gain a couple more from starting farther up. Sohan Matthew currently in trouble. Currently P5 in the Drivers' Championship. Hop into the car. We see him sweeping around Spoon. The AlphaTauri up ahead of him. Hopefully does not impede his progress here. Sohan currently 1 second up on his time, so just doesn't want to invalidate here. Taking it as nice as you can through here, down to second gear, third gear on the left hand, and then speeding up all the way. Hang tight as you can, avoid the bump. It's P2 for Sohan on those soft tires. Prince and Hash about to start their flying laps. Katsi starting his as well. Along with Owen Wilson currently on his, well up on his time as well. So that would knock Walker out as long as he does not invalidate. That could put Ricky Starr at risk. We'll have to see. He did start that lap just after time had expired. So whether that is a glitch on our end with the timing or not, we're kind of unsure right now. But all the bottom drivers, other than Owen Wilson is pit. He was up on his time. We must have invalidated. I'm not quite sure what happened. Hayden has invalidated, so he will not be improving. So Knight, Hash, Ricky, and Prince, if three of the four of them go faster, they will knock Hayden out. Knight Catsy currently only 3/10 up on his time, but that is good enough to get him out of the bottom up to about P7 range. See if he can nail this last chicane. Knight Catsy coming across the line. It's P7 for the Mercedes. Next up is Prince, only to P13 for Prince. Hash, the final one across the line out of the bottom. P6 for Hash. Absolutely clutch from the Hash driver. Ricky Star on a lap. He is up on his time, so if he doesn't invalidate, he will knock Hayden out. Oh, come on. There it is. Through the Casio triangle and across the line, it knocks out Vapor. Hayden invalidated his final flying lap. Walker retired, not advancing either. So some pretty fast drivers being eliminated here in Q2. Prince, 14th, set a time, but it was not quite quick enough. Owen in 13th, and Majestic in 15th. Pretty good times overall. Hayden missing out on Q3 by 0.05 of a second. So here we are, Q3. This is where you earn your money. This will set the top 10 order for the grid. Tires don't matter. Strap on a new set. Everybody has at least one new set of softs here tonight. And you just want to go as fast as possible. We have 2 Red Bulls getting through, 2 Mercs getting through. But then a pretty good mix. Oh, and Cobalt has left the session. Try to get him back in here real quick. Real quick. Appearance offline, so gotta go way down. Just give me 1 second, folks. Here the drivers come. Gonna be trying to set a flying lap.
Game
Clear conditions.
Crashed.
Oh, I... Let's see what we got going on here today. Oh, should be able to get back on, hopefully. At least be able to go for 1 flying lap. 12 minutes for Q3. Usually you can get about 2 runs. Very long circuit here. So your max you're probably going to get 2 runs. Unless you abandon a run, you might be able to get a 3rd in. A lot of these drivers only going to have about 2 sets of softs left. But the first out on track is Granny Boy. A few people still in the pits right now. But yeah, half the field out on their out laps. Maybe the other drivers waiting to get a little extra rubber down. We'll hop on board the lead driver, Granny. And you know what? We'll turn this telemetry on here. We'll let you folks see his brake inputs, throttle inputs, ERS management. You just watch the speed he can carry throughout the circuit, how close he gets to every turn, and he invalidates right off the bat. So we will now hop on to Josh Plays. Oh wait, he is not the lead driver. It's actually Sohan must have overtaken him, or we just didn't see him. But it's the Ferrari of Sohan will be the first one going around to set a lap here. Flying down for the race, the 400-meter run down to turn 1. And a lot of options going in there. You can have a lot of different break points, so got to pay attention to the drivers ahead. Don't want to have any sort of issues. It's Sohan loses the back end just a touch. Able to keep it in line though. Coming over the hill into Degner 1 and Degner 2. Love that shot. You see how much speed they carry through that tight right-hander. It's absolutely incredible, the pace of these cars here. You see, Josh Plays coming up behind as well on his hot lap. Mercedes running line astern. Cobalt out on his out lap at the moment. So currently, Ethan Pattison has not come out for a lap yet. Might only have one new set of softs, so might just be waiting his time. Waiting for the track to be at the optimal conditions, and then going out for his one flying run. Well, here we go. Get to see some of our first flying laps completed here for Q3. It's going to be Sohan with the first time on the board. It's a 127.7. Up to Josh. Goes just a bit quicker, 127.3. We watch Ricky Starr. Ooh, yellow flag in Sector 3. Slowing down to get out of the way. It's Ricky Starr and Knight splitting the Ferrari. And a few people starting their flying laps. Rivas, the next one that's going to come across the line here for us. Only 4 people with times on the board. Hash and Rivas on their flying laps. Cobalt just starting his. Brogan and Granny. Granny had invalidated. Brogan going for his first lap. And watch him come into Casio. Cuts that turn beautifully. Staying just off the curb. You want to run as close as you can. Let's get the power down when you're not on those curbs. And it's going to be P3 for Rivas. Look at these times. 2nd through 4th separated by just 0.05 of a second. Wow. Oh, and Hash jumps the board. Going up to P2 in the Williams. What a run. Brogan going to be the next one on a flying lap. Cobalt coming through to set his time. Let's check his sector times. We'll see how good it's looking for the Racing Point driver. Had to disconnect. Hopefully there's enough time after this lap to get in the pits and set one more lap. Saying purple sector 2 right now. Hop on board, watch his angle through the final chicane here. Very short, sector 3, down across the line. He's not hanging tight. Just a bit wide, gonna lose a little bit of time there, but it's a 126.8 in pole position right now for Cobalt anyway. Rogan now, the Haas driver, trying to put his first lap time on the board. Halfway through Q3 right now. Flat out, not even really a turn anymore. 130R used to be a challenge. No longer is it. Just keep your foot pounded to the floorboard. You want to hang tight here, but we see a few drivers drifting out wide there, trying to avoid the divot on the inside of the track. You'll see Granny Boy here, though, taking the ideal line right along the inside turn, and it's going to be a 126.2, 6/10 faster than Cobalt. Granny Boy looking poised to seal the championship here at Suzuka. Few drivers just coming back to the pits, but looks like Pattison. He's lost it going for his one run. That's going to be terrible. He was saving those tires. They were in optimal conditions. And he loses it coming out of the S's through the Dunlop curve. Stepped it a bit wide, caught a little grass. And it just stepped right out from under him. Thankfully kept it out of the wall. Hopefully can cool these rear tires down a bit. Hopefully it didn't take too much life out of them. Only gonna have one shot at this. We know that he was sitting in the pit, so he probably only had this one new set. Should still have a little bit of life left in them. Going very slow, trying to cool those rears down. They're gonna be extremely overheated right now. May let the Mercedes driver go by him here, as he does. On the outlap, though, feeling a little bit of pressure, you'd think, if you're crashing on that outlap, losing the car. Hopefully, he can correct the error here for his flying lap. But the first two drivers out, setting their times, will be the Mercedes of Ricky Star and the Red Bull of Pattison. We'll hop on board as Pattison begins his flying lap here in Q3. Down the front stretch. Cars coming out of the pits, hopefully getting out of the way. Two cars ahead of him, going out wide, staying out of the way. We saw him drift wide there, so he's corrected that issue in the first turn. And now he comes up through the S's. Yeah, he's abandoned this lap. Does he have fuel? Should have fuel. Must have abandoned this lap. He might be going for another one here in a little bit. We know Ricky Star, though, is on a flying lap. Quite a few drivers still in the pits. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. So you'd imagine they're all going to be coming out here very shortly. Mercedes coming down over the hill with a tight, almost double left-hander spoon, and out and making the long run down. Coming to the split here. Let's see how his time is. 5/10 up on his fastest lap. Would put him up in P4 at the moment. Let's see if he can hold it together through this final turn. Everybody in outlap right now, other than Granny. Granny coming out of the pits as we speak. Hopefully doesn't catch traffic and is able to get to the line in time. So there it is, P4 for Ricky Star in the Mercedes. Pretty good lap there. Rivas will be the next one to start a flying lap. Going to catch the traffic. The only slow car ahead of him is Granny Boy. Ricky Star going to be on a cooldown lap as well. McLaren up through the S's, flowing, clipping a little bit of the grass, able to keep the power down. Ideal lines right now. He comes out of Dunlop. See what his sector time. Currently a 10th up, but that is fast enough to put you up into P5 with how close the times are here. Hopefully he has time to make up here, up through the hairpin. Coming down through one fruit spoon. Yeah, like I say this every time. But yeah, just a very flowing circuit. Very long, winding. McLaren now almost 5/10 up on his time. Hopefully he can nail this last chicane. Hopefully not invalidating, and he should be able to move quite a ways up on the leaderboard. Comes through that chicane, down to the line, hugging it tight. Where's it going to be? It's P3 for Rivas. 126.9, within a 10th of Cobalt. Cobalt not up on his time either. That would have bumped him ahead of Cobalt. Great lap there from Rivas. Josh currently slightly up on his time. Night Catsy starting his flying lap. I believe Granny Boy got his started. The timer is showing it correctly. He might have started this lap late. We have the map, we have the time, so we'll keep track of it. Brogan, though, coming across the line. Where's it going to be? It's P9 for Brogan. Sohan, 4/10 up, gets a little bit of step out there, clipping a little bit too much of that first curve. Going to come across the line here. Where's it going to be? Lost a little bit of time through the chicane, but it's up to P6 for the Ferrari of Sohan. We watch Hash coming across the line now, a second up. 126.9 for Hash, just behind Rivas. Josh improves, but not enough to move him up any position. Ethan in P6, and Knight's going wide, invalidating his time. So the only drivers up ahead. Granny Boy, a lot of traffic in his way right now. Good attempt to block there by Rivas. Not sure what the timer is like, but hopefully he doesn't complete this lap. If he doesn't complete it, he's already got pole. But he risks getting a penalty potentially. He had started that after the qualifying session was over. Similar to Verstappen in Mexico last year. Set a faster lap, already had pole position locked up, but set a faster lap when it didn't matter. Ended up getting DSQ'd because of it. So, grid order, Granny Boy gets pole position. Great chance for him to lock up the championship here today at Suzuka in round 18. Cobalt P2, Rivas Island in P3, Hash P4, Josh Blaze P5. The other Red Bull's pretty good today. Two of them in the top 6. Pattison in P6. So Matthew with a Ferrari in 7th. The Mercedes in 8th and 9th. Mike Patsy and Ricky Starr flopped from how they normally qualify. And Brogan down in P10 with a 127.6. Very good times, though, throughout the table. Pattison getting 6th by just 6 milliseconds. And then Hash and Rivas separated by 0.05 for 3rd and 4th. But qualifying's over. Now we move into what counts. Race day, 27 laps. Just around the corner. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're here today, round 18 at the Japanese Grand Prix. Around the Suzuka circuit, the only figure 8 circuit on the calendar, 5.8 kilometer laps. 27 of them here today, and will determine potentially the Drivers' Championship here today. Our Granny Boy Hayden has left the session, so we'll try to get him a quick invite. But Granny Boy, qualified on pole, gonna try to capitalize, get P8 or better here today, and win the Drivers' Championship. Cobalt, the only guy who can keep Granny from winning today, down in P2, splitting the front row. Rivas Island, P3 in the McLaren after a stunning lap in qualifying, along with Hash. Just some issues in Q2, able to set a lapping at the end of Q2 at the death of it to get himself through. And then Q3, able to go second row of the grid, P4 for the Williams driver. Josh Plays, formerly T2E Kronos, in 5th. Splitting that row with Pattison, currently HFM Ethan in the Red Bull. The Ferrari of Sohan Matthew leading away for the Ferraris after Chris was unable to set a lap in Q1. Knight Katzi and Ricky Starr in the Mercedes, 8th and 9th on the grid. Rogan in the Haas in P10. Hayden back in P11, one of the stunning surprises, not making it into Q3, along with Walker in P12 in the Williams, not making it through either. Owen Wilson, fastest lap of the day last race in Russia, but unable to get himself into Q3 either. So P13, so a lot of speed in P11, 12, and 13. Definitely got to pay attention to that. Prince and Majestic back here in P14th and 15th for the Renaults. Pocket Dog, P16, KTJR in 17th, Mooks in 18th, Chief Chris rounding out the field, P19. But we see them lining up for the start of the Japanese Grand Prix. Chief Chris in the Ferrari takes his spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and go! A jump start there by Ricky Starr in the Mercedes. He's gonna have a drive-through penalty along with Hayden. Oh! Mercedes make contact into turn 1. Some drivers drifting just a bit wide. Currently, everybody's still pointing in the right direction. Granny Boy has been overtaken, though. Hash and Cobalt going down the inside, getting past Granny. That inside line must have paid dividends there. We didn't see it, but Granny Boy back to P3, Rivas back to P5. And Josh Plays up into 4th position. Knight Katzi in 6th, and we have a yellow flag back behind. Looks like the Renault of Majestic losing just a little bit. It's very tight right now. It looks like everybody's sorted themselves out. Oh, and we have Walker going up the inside, trying to make a move. Owen, though, is all the way up into P9 already. Pattison right behind, side by side right now. Walker and Pattison. Oh, and Pattison goes well wide. It's going to open the door for Ricky Starr to cut underneath as well. Wow. What a start we've had here today. Cobalt doing everything he has to right now, but Granny Boy still P3. Not going to feel a lot of pressure unless he needs to make a necessary pit stop here. Should have the championship well in his sights. Back on board with Sohan. Ricky Starr going service drive-through along with Hayden right off the start. Good idea. Is that if there's a safety car, it'll let you catch right back up. You don't want to have to serve it after a safety car. You cannot serve it under a safety car either. But currently, right now, Cobalt leading way. Hash still in P2. Granny in P3. Josh Plays P4. Rivas down 2 positions in P5. Knight Katzi in P6. Making up our top 6 right now. Looks like Broken, though, closing in on the back of the Ferrari right now. Is he going to try to go for a move into Degner? He's going to tap the back of the Ferrari, but unable to get through. Doesn't look like any wing damage. Let's see if he goes for a move into the hairpin here. Is he going to try to go up the inside? No, oh, in the back. Owen hits the back of Brogan there, trying to defend from Walker. They're going to go side by side. Walker, Owen, and Pattison all side by side, battling it out. And oh, that's unfortunate. Owen, you can already see the loss of pace right now. Pattison keeps it on the track that time. Watch Prince coming now at Wilson. Wilson definitely under heavy pressure right now with that wing damage. Imagine we see him coming into the pits here with how much speed he's already lost. You see a lot of fastest lap set right there. Yep, there he is, into the pits for the front wing change. Back up, Hash though, all over the back of Cobalt right now. Those soft tires, I believe he's on, are paying dividends right now. Granny Boy, though, is now closed up. It's like a little accordion right now. Hash going between Cobalt and Granny. That gap moving up and down throughout the field. We watch Walker right now, starting to close in on Brogan. The front 8, pretty well spaced out right now. Granny Boy trying to make that move on Hash, though. But like we said earlier, not a whole lot of great overtaking spots here. You can set up a better exit here out of the hairpin. You can definitely get through diving into Spoon, but it's not a very hard braking zone. So unless you get it absolutely perfect, almost impossible to get by. Oh, and it's a yellow flag in the background. Who is that? Pattison has spun. Brogan's retired from the session. Walker with some wing damage may have had a collision. We saw him said he just overtook Brogan in the chicane. It's going to be a VSC though right now. Potentially pit onto the hard tires and go to the end. Don't think it's going to be a very long safety car. Looks like they already have Brogan's car moved away. Pay attention for the drive-through penalties here. Open the penalty board up, and Granny Boy gets an amazing run and gets past Hash. Times up the safety car restart to perfection. Walker speeding into the pit lane, 5 seconds. That wing damage must have caused him to go a little bit deep. See, Brogan has now left the session. Unfortunate there for the Haas driver. We saw them battling with Walker. Pattison into the pits as well. You wonder if he has some damage. We have a yellow flag. Who's that? Rivas has lost it. Rivas has lost it in the Dunlap curve. It's right in the middle of the track, though. Hopefully nobody ran. And he had a good qualifying, but unfortunately lost it right there. Teammate Mook's coming up behind. We'll see if he lets him through here. But right now, a couple of nice overtakes. One incident, one VSC. Other than that, pretty clean race so far today. Spacing throughout the field, pretty even right now. Prince closing in on the back of Knight, up 7 positions, and KTJR up 9 positions. A very good start there from the Racing Point driver. I believe Majestic is in neutral, trying to get his car into the right gear here. Able to get it going once again. Pocket Dog going to come around the outside. Majestic is going once again, so the Renault was able to keep it. Oh, side by side down the front stretch. Granny Boy trying to go around the outside of Cobalt. Cobalt holds the inside line. Able to keep the lead for the time being. Both them on the medium tires. Finally have gotten Hash out of the equation. Those soft tires might be losing just a touch of life. Just enough for those medium tires to start pulling ahead. But Hash doing a pretty good job so far. Only one DRS straight on the very front stretch here. That long straightaway, there's no braking zone into 130R, and that's what deactivates the DRS system on these cars. So they can't put DRS down that straightaway, unfortunately. Watch Granny going extra wide to try to build the speed to come out and maybe mount an attack going into Spoon, or at least put him offline to then make a run down through 130R and into Casio to try to make that move stick. Granny very close right now to the back of Cobalt. gonna go for the move through 130R. He's just gonna try to line it up. He takes the outside line into the chicane. Can he outbrake him? It's just so tight through there, though. There's almost barely room for 2 cars. Much less trying to make the overtake happen through that zone as well. We'll watch Granny try to go for the move down into the first curve again. He's going to be close enough, though. It doesn't look like it. Oh, wait. It might just be not enough. Cobalt still holding that position. Very good battle out of the front right now. The Racing Point and the Red Bull going back and forth defending. Like we said, very hard to overtake. If he can hold him on that front stretch and through 130R, nigh on impossible for Granny Boy to get past here. But Granny Boy all over him right now. He's basically pushing him through the corners. Got to really trust the driver ahead of you when you're driving this close. And hopefully not losing downforce and pulling a Sebastian Vettel going into the guy in front. But right now, Cobalt still able to maintain the lead. Chief Chris is up from the bottom of the field, up into P11, battling back and forth with Ricky Star. Yellow flag in Sector 1 right now. Granny Boy has gotten past the second we look away to see what's going on. Granny Boy gets past Cobalt, of course. Ooh. And one of the Ferraris has now spun. I believe that's Chief Chris as we look away from him. So as long as you're staying on camera, nothing's going to happen. But as soon as we change it off, it seems that everything goes wrong. Mooks side by side. Oh! Very tight there. Looks like Mooks may have moved a little bit left, trying to squeeze KTJR into 130R. But it's really hard to go side by side through there. Only really one good racing line, unless you're trusting the guy behind you. Chris struggling a bit. He's all over the place. See if he has wing damage. Oh, he does. He has left front wing damage on that Ferrari. But Granny still not pulling away from Cobalt just as quickly as we thought. Cobalt hanging on for a little bit at the moment. The McLaren's currently being split by the Racing Point of KTJR, trying to help Vapor Cobalt out and the Red Bull team here today. Trying to get some points and get them back into potentially Constructors Championship. The Driver's Stand Championship all but over. Mooks getting a better exit. Those softs starting to go off. Out of the hairpin, Mooks is going to try to go around the outside through turn 12. He's going to have the inside line through the double left-hander. A spoon should be able to make this move stick. And yes, the McLaren driver gets the move done right then and there. Pocket Dog now starting to catch up to the back of Chief Chris. Chief Chris, with that wing damage, has not pit. It's very surprising to see him not pit. He's losing tons of time right now, but still going at the moment. Cobalt still 6/10, 7/10 behind Granny at the moment. Hopefully can hang onto that gap and put a little bit of pressure on Granny as the race closes to comes to a close. Oh, KTJR going to come back at Mooks here. Going to try to go down the inside. Will there be space? Goes just a bit wide. Both of them able to keep it together, though, for the time being. No wing damage, it appears. If any, it's very, very minor. As Hayden gets past KTJR now. Hayden's going to be putting the pressure onto Mooks. Hopefully dispatches Mooks pretty quickly here. That drive-through penalty to start was definitely not ideal for the AlphaTauri. Subbing today for Purple Catfish. Should be hopefully a very good result today for the AlphaTauri team. If Hayden can come back. On these medium tires, he's 9 seconds behind Rivas. That should be a pretty good goal for him if he can catch Rivas by the time they are pitting. That would be ideal for Hayden to then go and mount an attack on some of the other drivers up ahead. These soft tires are going to be coming closer and closer at the end of their life, probably 2-3 laps before they're pitting. Past still only 3 seconds behind the leader of Granny Boy and Cobalt, that battle. Oh, and Sohan gets an unfortunate 5-second speeding penalty going into the pit lane. Let's see where the Ferrari comes out. The first pit stops. Pitting onto the hard tires as well. They're going soft to hard. We were thinking you could easily go soft to medium, but going for the early pit stop, requiring the hard. Didn't see a wing change. So we'll have to see what he goes for here. Coming out in 10th position. So still in the points even after the pit stop, getting decent gap, but kind of coming out right behind that racing point, KTJR. So you have to wonder why the Ferrari decided to pit right then and there. Pulling about into some traffic with about 3 or 4 cars there. And Owen gets a 3-second time penalty. Haven't seen many corner cutting penalties here. So pretty good so far for all the drivers. But currently Granny Boy leading the race with Cobalt in P2, starting to now lose a little bit of ground. Granny typically just a bit better on the tire management, able to get a lap or 2 more than Cobalt is on any sort of set of tire they seem to use. Very easy on the power, but Cobalt does have pace. When he has the right tire on and he feels hooked up, gets in that rhythm, he can definitely have the pace here to catch Granny Boy. And Granny has been known to occasionally get penalties and get in a bad rhythm, bad streak. So we switch back to Rivas Island in the McLaren, trying to catch up to Prince on those soft tires. I don't think he's going to be able to get the move done here. The RS isn't really that powerful. Prince with almost no ERS left. Looks like Rivas might go for the move down the inside. He's going to get the move done there. That camera angle is absolutely terrible for overtakes. But Rivas able to get past Prince pretty cleanly there. We didn't think he was going to be able to get a move done. Sohan has passed KTJR already. Now his next target is Moops. Oh, and as we say, Granny Boy is the one who gets penalties. Cobalt with the 3-second penalty, unfortunate for the Racing Point driver. Just doesn't seem to be able to find a rhythm right now. Seems to be losing quite a bit of pace. Hash hanging on that 2-second gap to Cobalt right now. Pattison has passed Ricky Starr. 5-lap old hards, but will be able to get to the end on those hard tires, especially if we have a safety car. It'll be interesting to get the safety car towards the end of the race, see if we switch onto the softs, and see that flat-out pace from all the drivers. But currently, right now, pretty good gaps throughout the field. Sohan starting to now close on to the back of the McLaren of Mooks, who had a sensational drive last week at Russia, I believe up into P6 at the end of the Grand Prix. So a very good performance from him, getting some solid points for McLaren. The rest of the year, McLaren had only scored 1 point other than Rivas Island. Tiburon James scoring that back in week 6, I believe, 6 or 7. But yeah, Mooks helping out McLaren just a little bit in the constructors. Now up to P4, only 9 points behind Ferrari, and Mooks will be with the McLaren team for the rest of the season. Even with the quali ban, still able to pull out some decent results here. But Sohan closing in on the back of Mooks. He's going to go down the inside. Will there be enough space for both of them? Oh, and very tight. Whoa, what a save by Sohan. Drifting all through turn 1, but he's able to keep it pointed in the right direction. Can't tell if Mooks came down or Sohan drifted wide. Either way, not ideal for either of them, as Majestic has spun around again back in the field. Getting it pointed, learning, practicing, that's all you got to do. Here's Chief Chris is not here. Oh! KTJR must have... Not sure what happened. He's really all over the track right now. Back in P15, we saw him hitting a wall. As we were scrolling through our cameras we have. But Sohan starting to once again start to close up. A lot of drivers getting speeding into the pit lane here. We've seen it at least 3 or 4 times here today. It shouldn't be that hard of a pit entry, unless they're just not spotting the brake marker. But yeah, it's pretty clean. Just straight line in off the inside curve. Unfortunate, though, because it could cost you in the end, especially if there's a safety car towards the end. But Josh Plays comes out in 6th position after his pit stop, so you can see how spread out the field is right now. Majestic has now DNF from the session, pulling into the pit lane. That's exactly how we like to see it done. Unfortunate for him, though, as we see Walker and Prince side by side through the S's. Not usually an overtaking spot, but Walker's able to get it done. Great move there from the Williams driver, battling side by side with Prince. We almost missed it. Prince gonna try to hang on to the back of him and come back. Prince on these brand new hard tires, Walker on those older mediums. Knight on the 6-lap old mediums as well. So yellow flag right now in sector 1. Well, Majestic did the right thing, retired in the pits, and then his AI decided to drive out onto the track. So no idea what he's doing. But no safety car, thank God. And we're going to keep racing. Only one VSC so far. So hopefully these guys are managing their fuel well. A lot of drivers sometimes count on the VSCs and safety cars. So let's hope we can keep it clean here. Have some drivers struggling with fuel management towards the end of the Grand Prix. We watch Prince coming in, and oh, he outbrakes himself just a bit. Able to get it slowed down, but he's going to have a terrible exit out of the Castillo triangle. We'll have DRS just because the detection point was so far up, but he's going to be under pressure from Knight right now, and Owen's right behind them as well. That's going to be a steward's call. Yeah, that's going to be... those drivers are definitely going to be seeing the stewards after this. That's all I'm going to say. Owen, though, gains 2 positions due to the incident. Avoided contact, and it's a VSC there. I'll have to see. Rivas may pit here, but if you pit, it's onto the hard tires. Who else is up here? Cobalt's already gone past pits. See if anybody can take advantage of the virtual safety car. Oh, and Knight gets a speeding under virtual safety car penalty. That's going to be a drive-through. Anybody else with the penalty? We'll try to see here real quick. Knight and Pattison both getting drive-throughs. Oh, goodness, under the safety car. No reason for it. You might gain a second. It's rather lose a second to get that drive-through. It's not worth the risk, guys. But, hey, Hayden up to P5 after this false start. Making the most out of this race right now. See where he can go. 13-lap old tires for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th. Hash has pitted onto a set of medium tires now. So he's going to try to go for the undercut on these guys, drivers ahead. Naikatsi has retired from the session into the pits. Going to be going straight to the steward's office to discuss that incident. Currently, though, only 15 drivers, actually 14 drivers left running here today. So a good opportunity for points for some of these guys that don't normally get them. We'll ride on board with Hash for the time being. See if any of these drivers up ahead going into the pits. Should be at least a few more laps before the medium tire rider come in. Might try to hang it out and wait for a safety car. Pocket Dog in the pits. On those old softs, going to be putting on a mediums to the end. But currently, pretty big gaps throughout the field right now. Owen, though, 1 lap older tires than Walker up ahead, but slowly closing that gap to the Williams driver. Mooks has pit onto hard tires. Off the mediums onto hard. Bold strategy. If he hung it out for another lap or two, he probably could have got on the softs. About a second a lap quicker, the softs are around here. Go about 11 laps total too, so odd strategy call there. But Owen, only 8/10. Oh, he had a bad run through the S's there though. Was 8/10 behind, dropped a little bit behind Walker even more now. Let's see if he can maybe close up a gap. Probably our closest battle on track right now. Owen may potentially go for an undercut. He can undercut onto the softs. He'd probably need at least a safety car or VSC to try to make it to the end. But it'd be an interesting strategy. And hopefully get him ahead of Walker. I'd imagine they're going to be pitting in probably lap 17, I would guess. If I was Owen, though, maybe go for the undercut here. Try to take advantage. Pocket Dog has gone deep. Lap down right now. Josh gets past. 6th place for Josh Blaze. Hayden still having to stop 15-lap-old tires. Josh Blaze closing in very rapidly at the moment. On those new hards, those mediums very quickly running out of life right now. Imagine we see all the leaders going to be coming into the pits this lap. Sector 2, that's a crash. Oh, it's KTJR going slowly. Owen has now pit. He is going to go for the undercut here. Let's take a check at the race directory. Make sure he's pit onto both tires, and he has. He had that first lap incident, pit off the softs. So the only drivers that still have to pit are the 4 ahead on the medium tires that have yet to make a pit stop. We'll hop up with Granny. We assume he's coming into the pits this lap. And there it is, Red Bull driver into the pits. Can he avoid speeding? Just about. Drivers push it to the limit no matter what. Hayden takes it a little bit easier. Make sure he gets in there nice and smooth. As Rivas is going to come into the pit for the soft tires, Hash is going to overtake Rivas. We'll see if Hash can maybe get past Cobalt as well. I doubt it. Definitely will jump Rivas. We'll see if Hayden comes into the pits. Hash flies around the final corner. Hayden into the pits. Josh still going to have the DRS though from him. And Cobalt get just out ahead of Hash. All 3 of them on the soft tires. KTJR with no front wing now. Down in P14. Gets out of the way of Walker. Good driving. And thanks from Walker as well. So now we have... And he retires on track. Oh, hopefully not a safety car. Looks all clear right now. Looks like he got to a spot in the wall. Shouldn't be a penalty, hopefully. But currently, pretty big gaps throughout the field. Our closest battle, probably so on. In the Ferrari, trying to catch up to Hayden. But Hayden is ahead of him. I don't know if Hayden may have just passed him, but Hayden should be getting away from Sohan now. On the better tires and 7 laps newer as well. Here's Pattison has now had an issue spinning out. Yellow flag, sector 1 and 2 for the Red Bull driver. Down in P11 at the moment. Chief Chris P12, Pocket Dog P13. The only drivers without points here today. Currently only 13 drivers still running. Very tight show. Oh, Hayden, did he have wing damage? Trying to see if the AlphaTauri team is going to be changing a wing here. Just checking to see what is going on right now. Yeah, Hayden pit last lap. Oh no. Oh, Hayden. It put him onto the medium tires. He hadn't used a different compound. So he had to pit again and throw softs on. Oh no, Hayden, that is heartbreaking. Down in P10 now. He had a chance after the full start to get really solid points up to maybe P5 or P6. Granny Boy goes fastest overall. Pattison has retired. Just 12 drivers now running. This is an absolute war of attrition right now. Granny currently still with a 6-7 second gap to Cobalt. If he can keep it on track, he will win the Drivers' Championship here today. Sohan has passed Walker. Walker loses it. Oh, must have caught the grass, spun it to the right. That leaves 11 drivers running. What is going on here today? Maybe we should have had rain. This is insane right now. A safety car as well. So hopefully Walker didn't crash on purpose there. I don't believe he would have. Currently, Chief Chris and Pocket Dog going to be battling for 10th position, 1 lap down. You'd imagine we see Hash pitting for soft tires? No! Josh definitely got a pit for the soft tires. Yep, there you go. The Alfa Romeo knowing exactly what to do. They have a massive gap. Hash is probably going to really regret not pitting for the soft tires there. Imagine we see Sohan coming in here as well. Currently penalties. And it'll let him serve his 5-second penalty as well. Cobalt, 3-second penalty in second. Josh plays with the 5-second penalty. Sohan with the 5-second penalty. Owen Wilson with 3 and Hayden with 3. But we're going to have the entire field bunched back up right now. Biggest mover of the day right now, Mooks up to P7 after starting back in 18th position. So good start today for the McLaren driver. And if he had just pit onto the soft tires to start out with, wouldn't need to make this pit stop right now. Unfortunate there for McLaren, making the wrong strategy choice, I'd have to say. But all the top 9 currently on the soft tire. Pocket Dog still out. It's going to be quite a while for the field to bunch up here. Granny has caught the safety car up ahead. Only a few people behind it right now, though. So we have 11 drivers running. Going to have at least one more lap under safety car as the field starts to try to catch up here. Probably have about a 5-lap sprint to the finish. This is the main reason you want to avoid penalties. So Hash may still be able to pit here. He'd come out in 6th position. Not going to. He's going to stick with what he's decided to do. Going to stay on the medium tires. Maybe if it's a decision that comes back to bite him, he could have basically guaranteed himself the podium if he had pitted for those softs off the get-go. Looking to ride or die with the mediums. Drivers behind trying to catch up to the safety car. Looks like they're almost racing right now the way they're going. Just relax, guys, relax. should go green this lap. So it's going to be lap 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. And Granny Boy may be saying champion. But you never know what can happen here. If 3 more drivers DNF though, Granny Boy is guaranteed the championship, even if he then crashes out. We watch some of the drivers back in the field.